Hey, everybody, and welcome to The Studio Life. My name is Mark Nicholas, and welcome to Manhattan Beach Studios, where this is the coming to you live from the stage. Basically, here I am. I want to talk a little bit about the Alec Baldwin trial and the result.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
The result is a difficult one because it involves a series of issues that occurred when a prosecutor failed to turn over evidence. It really looked pretty nefarious, actually. And I think that kind of goes to the point of what reckless disregard is supposed to mean. Alec was handed a gun that he thought was empty. He may not have followed all of the guidelines that are customary when it comes to the use of a firearm. But on a set, an actor acts. And so if the script says to cock the gun or to aim the gun in a certain direction, that actor is not only entitled to do it, but entitled to rehearse it. The idea that pulling a trigger, which theoretically is permitted on a movie set, while a gun is aimed in a direction that it's supposed to be aimed at in connection with a rehearsal, should not be the factor that causes somebody to go to jail for a year and a half. That this is designed to pick up people who did not intend to commit a crime, but did something so horrible that it's as though they intended to commit the crime. So let me say that again. It's as though. It's the equivalent. It's a mirror to the intent to commit a crime. If you intend to run somebody over on the street and you drive your car and you hit them and you run them over in the street, it is an intentional crime. You wanted to have happen, you intended to have happen, and it happened. And therefore, you are guilty of the crime of murder. If you drive down the street and you accidentally hit somebody in the street, that is negligence. It is not a crime. Now, the question is, at what threshold does it tip over into the world of criminality? And it is when you intend to do something with complete disregard of its consequences, and the act inherently is likely to cause serious injury or death. Now, this is not a low standard, and it should not be up to a prosecutor to prosecute on the fringes. In other words, you're going after somebody who did not intend to commit a crime, and you're about to hold them liable, criminally liable, for having committed the crime. Of all things for prosecutors to be aware of or to be sensitive to, it's this exact thing. If they intended to commit murder and someone died, that's easy. If it's just a simple mistake, it's not a crime. This one should not be easy. And in a movie set, the question is, did he do something with complete disregard, reckless endangerment, likely to cause injury, serious injury or death? And the answer is simply no. 100% no, and it shouldn't even be debated whether you like the guy or not, or he pulled a trigger on a movie set or not. The question here is whether or not that rehearsal constituted reckless disregard. It's something actors do all the time. You're being told a gun is clean. There's not supposed to be live ammunition on a set. You have several people responsible for the safety on that set, including someone 100% responsible for that gun and anything in it. And I do think we should take a step back, and it's not just movies. I know there were comments on our TikTok related to whether or not there's some difference in treatment for actors, and the answer is yes. Not because they're special people, but it's simply because on a movie set, the act of rehearsing is not reckless disregard. In the same way that somebody in a school setting, when they pick up a gun they think is plastic or something like that, and they're told it's plastic and is not supposed to be reckless disregard. We're not supposed to find murder in simple negligence. We're not supposed to empower prosecutors to go out there and find murder in otherwise generic circumstances. We're not supposed to give people that much power. That's the lesson we should be taking away. Not did we like the guy, not do we respect the guy, not do we like his movies or have anything to do with his politics, as the prosecutor decided to discuss on the stand. We're supposed to hold this to a higher standard because we're prosecuting the idea that something could have happened that was not otherwise intended. We really should be talking about that. Involuntary manslaughter should be a higher standard. The person who drives down the street and hits somebody should not automatically be held to involuntary manslaughter. And not if they do something that is of simple negligence. This is supposed to be reserved for something special. For the person who drives down the street with a blindfold on or at a rate of speed that cannot be stopped. Something that is legitimate so that we convert the negligence into a crime. There's only so many things we could say about this. I hope somehow there's a discussion of what the precedent should be. I have no faith that that's going to happen because these are prosecuted at the minuscule level, at the local DA level. This is not something that can be legislated by Congress. So we take it for what it's worth and we rant about it on podcasts such as this and throw ourselves onto TikTok and Instagram and we tell each other what we think it should have been. And people can say, well, you're in the business and therefore you're biased. Actors on movie sets should not be prosecuted for involuntary manslaughter when they're rehearsing and other people say something's okay. It shouldn't even be a debate. And I leave you at that. It's another edition of The Studio Life. I'm Mark here on the stage at Manhattan Beach Studios. Thanks very much.